Hello guys. Okay, so right now we are going to go ahead and discuss some things from this pre-test that we just took. So in here we have point G. I see that she has some wrong answers on point G, so let's go there. Here. Okay. So in here you need to complete the passages with the correct form of the verb in parentheses. Okay, so in here I wish I could find the perfect job. 2 years ago, so in here we are talking in the past. Since we started talking in the past, of course, the correct answer in here is going to be had, because had is the simple past form of the verb have. So I had a job at a hospital in another city. The job was great, but I hated. Okay, so in here we are talking in the past, but let's say this is an action that is happening in the past. So in this case, we can go ahead and choose driving. So we can say the job was great, but I hated driving there. So while I was working at the hospital, I cared, because I don't know guys if you remember, but there is a topic where we talked about situations that are happening at the same time. In here we have past continuous versus simple past. This is something that we saw on unit 12. So basically we are using the past continuous for an action that is in progress in the past. So that is why we say but I hated driving, because this is a situation that was happening in the past. So then we use the simple past for an action that interrupts the action that was happening in the past. So this is basically what we saw about simple past and past continuous. So if I tell you I was having lunch when I used spilled, which is the past, because the spilled interrupt the action, the principal action that was having lunch, in this case basically. So while I was working, this is past continuous, at the hospital, I heard, this is simple past because this action is interrupting the working part. I heard about this job near my home. In this case, we can say I've been working here, because it's an action. I have been working, because this is an action that is continuing to happen right now, like he is still working there. Or you can also say I have worked here for several months already, and that is going to be fine, because again we are talking about something that started in the past but is still happening in the present. But now, so this action right now, but now so this is the present, so I can say I am thinking about changing jobs again, because the salary isn't great. If I find a better job near my home, I won't need to look for a job for a long time. So in this case, we are talking kind of in the future. So in here, in this exercise, we have many tenses. In here, I have the answer key, if you want to look at it. Give me just 1 second so I can look it for you. Okay, so in here I have the answer key. Let me see. So in here, as I said, I won't need to look for another job on a long time. To look for another job for a long time. Why? Because this is something like, again, we are talking about different tenses in here. I won't need, this is the future, to look for another job in a long time, because he is not going to need to look for another job because he's thinking about the possibility of finding a job that is near his house. So if it's near his house, he won't need to look for another job in a long time. So basically, let me just go ahead and go to another topic. We have topic I. Let me go ahead. Let me go there. Okay, so in here I see that Ruth has, I don't see it pretty well, but I do know that she has some answers that are correct. Even though, okay, let me do it here because this one is more clear. Even though they are correct, there are some answers that were incorrect, so we're gonna look into that right now. This is exercise I. Okay, so in this case, we have, let me go here. We have, for example, a few years ago, there are a lot of stores in our neighborhood. So in this case, since we're talking a few years ago, of course, we cannot say that there are a lot right now, because there are is for the present. So the wrong word in here will be there are, because in this case, we will be saying there were a lot of stores in our neighborhood. While I was texting my sister, my cell phone dies. So this is basically what we were just seeing now. Like, while I was texting my sister, this is past continuous. When, so something happened that the action had to be interrupted. And when this action is interrupted, we go ahead and use the simple past. So that is why in here we have, while my sister was texting, my cell phone dies. That's incorrect. I need to say my cell phone died in past. So I wouldn't want to live in this neighborhood, so it's too noisy. We don't use so because, again, we use because to give the reason for something. This is something that we saw. I have it right here. Give me just 1 second, because I do know that we were. Okay, so clauses with because. The word because introduces the cause or reason for something. So I wouldn't want to live in this neighborhood because it's too noisy. So instead of so, we will be using because. Children have been playing soccer on this field for years. So in here, again, this is something that is continuous, so we will be saying have been playing. Los Angeles is the city who is next to the Pacific Ocean. So we just use who for people. We did something like that on the boards. Like, there's some information about that on these boards that you guys have the links. But anyways, Los Angeles is the city that is next to the Pacific Ocean. Remember that we can use who for people, that for things and people, and we can use which for things. So in this case, it's incorrect that we say who is next to the Pacific Ocean, because Los Angeles is not a thing, it's not a person, it's a city, so it's a thing. So Catherine finds mystery novels very interested. So interested is I can say, for example, I am very interested on this apartment. Like, I can be interested. I am a person. But then the movie, the novels, we cannot use this for novels or for things. In this case, we'll be using the novel is interesting. This is an adjective. She is interesting. He is interesting. It is interesting. So in this case, instead of interested, we will be saying, and then the last thing, Gabe asked me meeting him at his new apartment. That is also incorrect. We don't say meeting him. In this case, we'll be saying to meet him at his new apartment. So let me just leave this video here, and in a bit I am going to be talking about this part in here. So allow me just a second. So I want to make let's say a short review of this topic that we saw on Unit 13, which is something that we also see in here. Like, Catherine finds mystery novels very interested, and they are, instead of interested, we need to use interesting. I want to go over this because this is a topic that you might have forgotten, but you can look for it on the boards. So we have participle as adjectives. So we have the present participle and we have the past participles. So remember that an adjective is something that gives, let's say, a characteristic or gives information about the subject in the sentence. So the present participles are the ones that end on ing, like interesting, and it describes the characteristic of a person, a thing, or a situation. This causes the feeling. And then we have the past participles, which are the ones that end on ed, such as interested, and they are used to describe the feeling, so how a person feels. So interested, in here, for example, you cannot say that a novel is interested because we can only use these ones, the ones that end on ed, we can only use them on people because this is how they feel. So this is the difference. For example, if I say that my girlfriend is bored, I'm saying that my girlfriend is feeling bored, that my girlfriend feels bored. But if I say that my girlfriend is boring, I'm saying that my girlfriend is a boring person. So in here, if I say that Catherine finds mystery novels very interested, I'm saying that the novels are feeling interested. And they cannot feel interested because they are novels. They are a thing, they don't feel any emotion. So in here, I am confused. If I say that I am confused, it's because I don't understand something. This is a feeling or emotion. But if I say that I am confusing, it's because I am going to cause that you feel confused about something. For example, public toilets are usually disgusting. So disgusting is a toilet characteristic. I am talking about the characteristic of the toilet. They are disgusting. I am disgusted by the smell in some of them. So disgusted is how I feel about the toilet. So basically we use the ed to talk about feeling or emotion, and we can only use it on people. The ing, we use it for characteristic, and we can use it for people, for things, and for a situation. So this is basically what I'm going to explain about this right now. But anyways, allow me just a few minutes so we can go back to this exercise.